So now they're changing it a little bit. They're talking about a number line, and they're saying, okay, when you see this, see how this is darkened and this is darkened? They're saying that's the area where the function is positive. All right, if I have the x-axis, let's call this x. I bet you would agree all these numbers up here are positive, and everything down here is negative. Okay? So what that means is, now by the way, it's cubic. How do I know it's cubic? Because there's 1, 2, 3. Okay? So if I start down here, positive, now it's not positive, it's negative. Actually, it might not be cubic. Oh, yes it is. Okay? So if you look, this is the area. It's going to be kind of hard to do this. This is the area. All of this is positive. All of this is positive. But then all this stuff down here is negative. So that would transfer over here. -3, -1, 4, which means your y-intercept would be negative. Okay? Now, let's do this one. Well, how do we know if we start down here or up here? Well, in this section over here, it's supposed to be at the bottom. If I start up here, it would be positive. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go through and keep it positive. The problem is, if I went down here, now I'm negative, but it's still bolded, which means they're saying bounce. Still positive. Is this also colored in? Yep. That means that I'm not going to go through, I'm going to bounce again. All of this is my positive. That means, and so we know that this one was x cubed. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's x to the 5th power. If I was to create a function for this, this would be x plus 3, x plus 1, x minus 4, y equals. That's actually an equation, not a function. This would be x plus 5. This would be x minus 0. Okay. X minus 0, you don't need the 0, is just x. So if I put the x, I put it in front. The problem is it's a bounce, so that's a squared. And then 2 means x minus 2, which is a bounce. So bounce, bounce. See there? There's your bounce. And then equals y. And so if I was to graph it, it goes -5 to 0 bounce, to 2 bounce, and then I graph it, negative in behavior, positive in behavior. Okay, let's try this next one. This time I'm not going to start down here, because if I start down here, everything over here, so if I was like this, all that would be negative. So I'm actually going to start up here. And I'm going to go, I didn't do a good job here, I'm going to -1, 1, 4, colored in, colored in. Okay, so it's going to be positive until we get to -1. And then do we go through it? No, because then it would be positive. So we bounce. And then we go to here. Do we go up? Yeah, well, because this is where it's positive. Okay, so this is where it's positive. Okay, which means my factors are x plus 1, x minus 1, but this was a bounce, squared, x minus 4 equals y. Great test question. Okay, all right, let's start here with this one. So that means this one's x to the 4th. Because 1, 2, oops, you can't see that, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one. Down here, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. All right. So that means, and there was no bounce, so x plus 2, x plus 1, x minus 1, x minus 2. Y equals. And let me show, this is where it's positive here, and this is where it's positive here above the line. Everywhere else it's lower. But this is actually wrong, because if this was x to the 4th, x to the 4th looks like this. So that means that's negative, and that's negative. Okay? All right. What would you say with an even degree compared to odd? So even, we said this before, it's the same end behavior. Okay, end behavior. If it's positive, it's positive. If it's negative, it's negative. That's when we have like this or like this. Okay. If it's odd, you have different end behavior. If it's positive, then it's negative, positive. And if it's negative, it's positive, negative. What do I mean? If you have x cubed, you start down here in the negative and it ends positive. If you have a negative, it's a positive, negative. Some of us function well this way because we like memorizing. I'm more of a visual person. I have to touch it. So for me, drawing pictures is easier than memorizing this, or comparing it to x squared, which is even, which starts from the top and goes down, and starting from the odd, which is x to the first power, which starts down here. Okay? All right. Is this already, nope, not homework. Without using a calculator. Okay. What does that mean? 0. -1, 3, no bounce. So it's x to the third power, which means it goes like this, but it's negative, so it goes like this. And some of you go, you didn't find the y-intercept. When the x-intercept is 0, the y-intercept is 0. Okay. This one, it has 1 with a bounce. It has -2. And it has 4. Okay, so I have 2 x's there, 3, 4, x to the fourth. It's positive, that means it starts up here. Go through, oh, let's do the y-intercept. So if you square negative, it turns positive, times positive, negative, so that means your y-intercept is down here. So it goes through. Does it go through? Nope, bounce. And that's x to the fourth power. 1, 2, 3, 4. If at this point you're still copying mine, you need to be texting me because this should be something you understand. If you don't, it doesn't mean you're not smart. It means the way I'm teaching it isn't working for you, so we need to figure out a different way. Okay, but you've got to take initiative and let me know. All right, let's do this one. So this one is x plus 2 cubed. So that means -2, +4. All right, so if it's cubed, it's an odd root, there isn't a bounce. But this is x cubed and x, which means this is x to the fourth. Okay? And if you have a positive cubed, it's still positive times a negative is a negative. So x to the fourth means it's going to go like this, and then maybe it bounces like that. That's not the only answer. It could be like that. Could be all sorts of ways. Or when you graph it, you can see it differently. Okay? For this one, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do, so give me a second to figure out. I didn't put the directions. So in these, they want possible quadratic functions. So you do the opposite, which you're good at. Do the opposite, which you're good at. Then box it out. And you'll end up with y equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. I need you to box it yourself. Okay? This is x minus 3. But this one, you cannot write x minus 1/4 x, or x minus 1/4. But if you put the 4 in front, because that's what makes it a fraction, and you set that equal to 0, you'll be good to go. Box it out. Y equals 4x squared minus 13x plus 3. Try boxing these yourselves. X plus 9. You can't do x plus 3/4. But that can go over there, 4x plus 3, box it out. I could have made mistakes. I'm going a little bit fast, okay? But you get the game. All right, last one, x minus 6, bounce, because that's what a bounce means. Box it out. Done. Okay? 838, we're going to do this one together. This is solving a system. If I subtract them, let me zoom that in a little bit, then I could eliminate the x's. X squared minus x squared, by. Y squared minus negative y, I can't put those together. It's okay. And then 9 minus 3 equals 6. 2 negatives make a positive. Move the 6 over. Factor it out, find 2 numbers that multiply and 2 numbers that add. And then I get -3 and 2. I found 2 y values, which I will now put here. and I will put here. There's one answer, there's the other one. But I got to find the x value. So I take the y, plug it into either equation, so I can take the 2, plug it in for the second one if I feel like it. X squared minus 2 equals 3. Add 2 to both sides. X squared equals 5. Square root. Then that means your answer is going to be rad 5 or negative rad 5. If I did that right, I think I did. And then I plug in negative 3. So x squared minus negative 3 equals 3. This is also a really good one. X squared, subtract 3 equals 0. Square root, plus or minus 0. So that means that if you went into Desmos and you graphed this and this, it should cross. This is a circle, and this is a U. It should cross 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right, let's turn the page. This is your homework. You can use Desmos if you want to help you with that. This one is what we did on the previous page. This is what we worked on before. This is doing degree, and they gave it to you. So you can graph this in Desmos and see how many times it crosses. This one, remember, what makes something a function? If the x is in the numerator, which is in the top, the only time it's not a function is if your x is at the bottom. That means it's not a function. Okay? This one here, ooh, that's a good little workout. So I think we're going to skip this one, and then we're going to skip this one, but you're going to do this one because we worked on it. That means this homework assignment, because it's not as much work, and it's really not going to take you very much time, is only going to be worth 3 points. Okay? Let me make sure, unless there's a third page, and then I'll make it worth more. There is not. Okay, that's it.